Welcome to episode 2 of April Anger. We're going to start off with Little Mac against Shulk. One of these amiibo will be going home tonight. And by home, I mean back to the shelf. Where they will probably fight 0 people until next year. Actually, that's not true. We always have a loser's bracket where we decide which amiibo need to be retrained. These amiibo both will have a guaranteed one more match. But if they lose this and then win that next match, that's going to be their season. Shulk recovering with a jump. Well timed at that. Now he's jumping really high above Little Mac. Little Mac does not have a great aerial game, and he has basically no way to attack a character that far above him. I suppose his up B would do it, but it's so slow, he wouldn't have hardly any chance of hitting it. Almost gets a read on the down throw there. That caught Shulk's jump. Nope, he still had a jump. But now he doesn't, and he's going to die for that. So this is really perilous for Shulk, because he needs to... Well, he just got rid of Mac's KO punch. If Mac had hit him 2 or 3 times and then KO punch him, that would have been the stock. It's a very dangerous move. Ooh, Little Mac gets Shulk on the retreat there. Ooh, Shulk tries a counter, but it doesn't land. Shulk's just having a hard time hitting Little Mac now. Speed should help. Honestly, Speed Monado Shulk just running and neutral airing is a kind of dangerous prospect. Ooh, gets an up smash on Little Mac. Gets hit with the aerial KO punch. That's not going to kill until a ridiculously high percent, because Little Mac is weaker in the air. That being said, his side B, the Jolt Haymaker, it's not weakened as much as all of his other specials, which does leave him an offensive option in the air, but it's also his recovery option. And I mean, as you can see right now, Little Mac's recovery is not something to write home about. Gets Shulk with a forward air. It's usually more of an insult than an actual threat. That being said, Little Mac has one of the fastest out of shield options in the game, but it's with his neutral air, so it's not really that threatening. So usually people have just decided that, yeah, if Little Mac decided to hit you with a neutral air instead of something else out of shield, you just live with it, I guess. Ooh, gets a counter, but then the second hitbox of Shulk's up smash still hits Little Mac. See, Shulk threw Little Mac before the timer had expired, where he can't lose his KO punch. But then he hit him again after the timer had not expired, and then Little Mac did lose the KO punch. Shulk's gonna auto heal one more time, putting him just under 15% behind Little Mac. Now it's like 50, because Little Mac has a really good damage output. Shulk needs to jump back. He's going to get... Nope. He should have gotten punished for that. Backslashes to the platform, but he's not spacing himself out around Little Mac enough. He does have a long sword, which is longer than Little Mac's fists. One of the advantages of being a sword character against Mac is that even though he'll armor through his moves, you can be far enough away it won't hit anyway. Little Mac not taking advantage of the regrab there. Down smash probably would have killed Shulk. Gets him with a Haymaker, though. And with the upward angled forward smash to kill Shulk off the top. Gonna be real interesting to see how the Little Mac amiibo does. And I'm just going to end that thought. Now we have Dr. Mario against Zero Suit Samus. Zero Suit Samus is one of the amiibo who got a slight visual touch-up, I guess? Anyways, it just means that her physical model doesn't quite match up with her amiibo as much anymore. Which, first of all, is weird, because the Wii Fit Trainer amiibo seems to get the visual touch-up when they reprinted her amiibo. On the packaging as well, it's really subtle, so I'd understand if you don't see it on the plastic figurine. But from what I understand, no other character got it? At least that I know of. I didn't repurchase all the amiibo I already had, because why would I? And I'm pretty sure the main reason just for the visual slight overhaul was just that, wow, quick kill from Dr. Mario, was that Zero Suit Samus's, well, I guess entire character always just comes off as a little suggestive, which has been a problem for like 30 years now? Well, and by a problem, I guess I should say it's been a symptom of her character for about 30 years now. It's a little weird, though, because, first of all, Bayonetta's in the game, and she is very much an adult character. But it's also weird because then they added Pyra and Mithra, who had Zero Suit Samus's problem, but a little bit worse, if you ask me. But I guess if it flies by the sensors, then they're not going to change it. Zero Suit Samus did not grab the ledge there with her tether. A little bit weird. It could have been that after a character is hit, there is a brief window when they cannot grab the ledge. The thing is, in Smash Ultimate, due to the pace of the game changing a little bit, and I assume that the time got reworked, usually hit stun ends before you can't grab the ledge. You have to get hit by a very, very weak move to get out of hit stun and have the, I guess, penalty apply. That being said, it could have just applied to Zero Suit Samus there, as a reason why it didn't grab the ledge. Dr. Mario doesn't go for his wall jump. I didn't see if he had his normal jump or not. It could maybe have saved his life. Basically, as a general rule, the worse recovery a character has, the better wall jump they have. So, ironically, Little Mac has the best wall jump in the game, which actually makes it a usable recovery option. Whereas, like, Zero Suit Samus has a wall jump, but her recovery is so good you usually don't need it. It can be good for stalling out just a little bit off stage, though. And you'd be surprised how many accidental wall jumps a character can get, especially on, like, battlefield stages that don't have much of any walls to speak of. Zero Suit Samus not showing much variety in that combo, or that one either. Triple up tilt to triple down air. Quadruple down, more down airs. Zero Suit Samus is loving the down airs. Oh, she doesn't get the next up air though. Now, Dr. Mario doesn't have the same up air combo that Mario does have. That being said, Dr. Mario does have a lesser version of the combo. Oh, and in case anybody doesn't know, Dr. Mario's neutral air gets stronger the longer it stays out, whereas most other moves of that type get weaker the longer they stay out. So it does feel a little bit weird to have your foot dangling out in the air like a participle, and then you hit somebody with the very end of the move and they die. Weirdly enough, though, it does mean the move is a little bit better to combo in to other moves. Ooh, Dr. Mario with the juking double back air. He's going to take a win for that. For round 3, we're going to have Meta Knight against Hero. Two heroes who both have swords and hands. It's going to be really interesting to see how many offstage shenanigans happen, though. Because as long as Hero has enough magic power, he has a large distance recovery, and Meta Knight has a whole bunch of jumps. That being said, Meta Knight just air dodged instead of trying to recover. Not even 20 seconds into the match. Now he has an uphill battle to climb. Gets Hero off stage, but ducks on stage. Ooh, down air to up air. That's pretty spicy. Hero has enough mana to recover, but that almost would have evened it up for Meta Knight. Meta Knight's sword is much quicker than Hero's. Since Hero's supposed to depend on his magic power, his sword attacks are a little bit on the slow side. They also hit a little bit harder than Meta Knights, but Meta Knights are very fast. So it's going to be really hard for Hero to get. Gets a footstool, Hero recovers though. One hit of forward air to up smash to up B. Meta Knight is just sort of walking all over Hero now. Hero starts getting a couple licks in, but Meta Knight jumps into the fireball, dies really early. Now he has a very uphill battle to climb. You could maybe even say an up mountain battle. Gets Hero with the down throw. When you have Accelerado, you do actually take more knockback than, of course, you would normally if you didn't have it. It wears off right after Hero gets launched. Hero doesn't edge guard low though. Goes for a ledge trap instead. Gets the Gimp off of Hero. Oh, Hero can make that. Just barely, but he can. But now Hero's starting to run out of magic. Gonna have to hit Meta Knight to get more of it back. So now he's made it back, but he only has 30. Which means he can only use the biggest recovery, I believe, once, because it costs 16 each time. Well, if it costs 14, then it wouldn't be a problem. Just more research for a future meet. Meta Knight gets here with the up B, though. Gonna auto-heal back up to about 6. But he still has that 1 life that he has to make back. Ooh, Hero goes off stage, makes it back. He's gonna have to re-grab. Meta Knight doesn't make it back in time. Goes for Accelerado, so Meta Knight just goes high. One of the problems I've noticed with Accelerado is that Hero's attacks don't come out particularly fast, so you need to start them from pretty far away if you expect them to land. So while it is nice to be fast, Hero's moves aren't fast enough to make the most of the speed he gets. And unlike Shulk with Speed Monado, he doesn't have a move that lasts long enough to cover a large portion of the stage. Meta Knight air dodges again under the stage. That might be something we have to fix. We need to teach Meta Knight how to recover. He killed himself twice in the same way that game. Alright, now I swear I didn't plan this, but we have Marth against Lucina again. I'm a little surprised I didn't notice when I made the bracket submission form. I guess I must have just gone on autopilot. So Marth won last time in the qualifiers when these two went against each other. That doesn't mean that he's going to win again, but we'll just see. Ooh, gets a good up smash trade with Lucina there. For anybody who doesn't know, aerials can't clank with moves, so they don't. So that does mean that usually aerials will trade a lot more often than grounded moves will. Ooh, Lucina just doesn't space that up smash correctly. Having a hard time dealing with Marth's very slightly longer range on a few of his moves. I guess part of the problem is that when they're both at sword's length, Marth is at the advantage. Marth killing Lucina with an up smash. Lucina goes for an edge guard, doesn't get one, makes it back on stage. Starts tossing Marth around though. Oh, she goes for an up smash, a forward smash. Maybe it would have killed. Ooh, down air edge guard. Marth's not going to make it back. Lucina was in a little predicament there because if she up-beat too early, she would have hit Marth and he would have recovered. Because they both have the same up-beat, Dolphin Slash. It goes the same distance, but it also would have hit Marth a little upwards. Gets a parry into spot dodge. Not what you want to use the parry window for. Gets a very slow dancing blade on Marth. Goes for the all-side variation. You can change which versions of the moves you use. Normally, though, people just go side down because it deals the most damage. Sometimes you can mix it up if, for example, if you want to put the opponent in an upwards position, you can make the last hit upwards. Weird thing about Dancing Blade, though, is that unless you're Roy and Chrom, the second hit doesn't have a downward option. So you can go up, 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 left, 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 but you can't go down, down, down. And I'm not really sure why. It just kind of ends up canceling the move a bunch until you figure out that that variation doesn't exist. Then since you're holding left anyway, people just go for the left conversion, because why not? I'm sure if the upward variation did more damage, people would do that instead, but... The Dancing Blade is a move that, until Ultimate, was either amazing or terrible. Weirdly enough, in Melee, it gave Marth a slightly better recovery, but it was so slow that it wasn't particularly useful because you couldn't hit people with it. You would instead use it as a move like King Dedede's forward tilt, where it lasts long enough it can, like, catch a spot dodge. Oh, see there, Lucina went for the downward variation. Marth gets her with the back air. I don't think it was a tipper, though. He gets her with an up air, but still not killing Lucina. Gets her with an up smash, just like the first stock. Wonder how Marth's going to choose to kill her on the third stock, if he does. Not to show any bias, but Lucina's done a pretty good job holding her own. And then Marth just hit her with like 3 up smashes in a row. And with the up throw taunt combo. Ooh, Lucina almost jumped on that. Not a good decision. Well, I mean, she didn't, so obviously it worked. But these characters don't ever seem to be going for the shield breaker move, which, to be fair, is a little bit laggy. You mainly use it when somebody's trying to shield. Oh, Lucina just rolled into that. The thing about the shield breaker is that it doesn't break a full shield. You have to hit them once before or afterwards for it to break the shield. The move basically exists because against Marth and Lucina, their throws do mostly nothing. Oh, Lucina didn't have her jump. That's gonna kill her. She is now out of the tournament. If this was an anime, she would have beat Marth with the power of her friends. Now we have Mr. Game & Watch against Simon. Now, how metal is this? Simon's whip is called the Vampire Killer. I guess they could have named it the Screw You Dracula, but Vampire Killer is just a more generalized term. Also, you know how Simon looks like he's 50 years old? Turns out he's like 30. Which, to be fair, he lived... Well, I guess it would be the equivalent of like the 1400s or something. So there's no way he's going to be perfectly groomed up to modern standards. And since he kills monsters for a living, that's got to take a physical toll on you. Ooh, Simon goes for one up tilt, but then doesn't follow it up with up air, the move that would be really great at catching opponents who are above you. Which I guess both of these characters have. Just really tall up airs. Simon needed to air dodge in order to make it back from that. He doesn't hit the piece of bacon, or maybe that was a sausage. If he had, he could have lived. But to go off stage to edgeguard Mr. Game & Watch, not a great idea for the Belmonts. Especially because Simon is an amazing ledge trapper, and edgeguarding mostly consists of making people forget that your whip is really long. So you can sometimes edgeguard people who try to do a high recovery while you're still on stage and they're not. Because, you know, your whip is a good, like, 6 feet long. Ooh, air dodges into the grab. Jumps, barely gets the ledge with his whip. The hitbox for that grab is a little bigger than you'd think, but not by much. Simon gets killed off the edge by Mr. Game & Watch. Gets his tech roll with the back air, though. The forward air and back air is really hard to hit because you have to angle it right, because the hitbox is so thin. Almost gets a charged up smash on Game & Watch. He was too close, though, so he was able to hit Simon back. Simon, I think, needs to learn that up B out of shield is, well, it's basically his fastest option. And at very high percents, it kills. Less so if the opponent knows that they can DI away and down from it. But you know, an out of shield option that kills, even if less often in turn and play, is still useful. Ooh, gets the roll with the forward smash. Something I always gotta worry about against Simon. Now, Mr. Game & Watch does have a reflector, but it's more of a deflector. So it does change the ownership of the projectile, but it doesn't speed it up. Which is important against Simon, because a lot of his projectiles have a set distance they can travel. For example, the axes, when reflected, since they don't get that speed up, they don't make it back to Simon. The boomerang usually does, although boomerangs being reflected are always a little weird in their implementation, because they switch directions partway through, and that specific switching directions mechanic seems to bypass reflectors half the time. Or more like, you reflect them, but the boomerang has already decided it's returning. So it can't get bounced back, even though logically it should. Simon got his jump out, but he still died. Not entirely sure how that worked. Up next, Olimar against Toon Link. Now, normally I like to keep the conversational banter related to the characters, but I'm just gonna throw this out there. Apparently the Nintendo Switch doesn't have a microphone because Chatot was a Pokemon. Oh no, right, sounds pretty convoluted. Well, it turns out that people found out that they could make the Chatot Pokemon swear at people online. Since the Pokemon, like a normal parrot, has the ability to, well, mimic a sound that somebody puts into the DS microphone. Well, Pokemon didn't like that, so they took measures to make sure it would not happen, and apparently they had enough pull at Nintendo to make sure that the Switch didn't come with a microphone. Now, to be fair, I haven't particularly missed the Switch's missing microphone, and I mean, I suppose you could maybe use it to connect to people online, and so like you could talk to them, but anybody who's known anything about Xbox Live knows that if you can talk to people through the internet, you're gonna get 10-year-olds who swear at you. It's just how it works. So not once have I been playing somebody in Smash Brothers and thought, you know what, I want this guy to be able to yell at me. Alright, Toon Link brings it back. Well, just bringing them up to even. Ooh, Toon Link's grab connected before Olimar's did. Olimar has to wait on his Pikmin to grab. So it does mean his grab is actually better when his Pikmin have buds and or flowers, because that does speed up the speed of his Pikmin. Catching the get up with a yellow Pikmin. It's actually pretty creative. Now, Olimar should make it back from this. He has a good recovery. Toon Link goes for the edge guard. Doesn't get it. Now he has another chance. Doesn't get that one either. Sending Olimar somehow the opposite way across the stage. Olimar, despite having a strong lead, is now struggling. He had a purple Pikmin there, but now he's lost his rage. Gonna have to start the cycle over. Picks up Toon Link's bomb, though. Adapting pretty well. Olimar's Pikmin do have immunity to damage of their own specific type. That being said, some types of damage are much more common than other types of damage. For example, fire, very common damage type. Electricity, semi-common. Water damage basically means that the Pikmin don't drown, and I believe Smash Bros. Actually treats water and ice attacks as the same element now because there's so few of them. Like, no joke. The only water moves I know of are on Pokemon, Squirtle and Greninja. Both of them starters at that. And the only ice moves are on the Ice Climbers, and I suppose Hero and Sora have one magic spell that's ice. Oh, and Lucas also has PK Freeze. That's ice as well. So ice is slightly more common, but water is basically unheard of. Wow, Toon Link just kills Olimar. Olimar is a light character, so it makes sense, but I expected the match to go a little longer. Alright, now we're at Ridley against Pichu. So it is difficult to define who is the largest character in Smash Brothers. But Ridley is one of the biggest contenders. Well, I should say the strongest contender. Anyways, Ridley's really big. His limbs aren't particularly thick, so he does kind of have that wireframe and like the weird posture he has. But if you were to tell me that he is the largest character in Smash Brothers, I wouldn't really question it. Maybe not, you know, the tallest, but he is pretty huge, especially his amiibo, which takes up just so much space. That really makes back from that. Pichu, on the other hand, is easily the smallest. I suppose you could argue that perhaps Squirtle is smaller, but Pichu is the lightest character in the game as well, so if that's any help. Oh, Pichu could have gone for a down B there to kill Ridley. So anyways, this is going to be weird for both of them. Well, especially for Ridley, because he's going to have to try to hit a very tiny character. I know when you're playing Jigglypuff, trying to land a rest on Pichu is, well, really annoying, if I may be so bold. Whereas landing a rest on Ridley is, it almost feels like a freebie if you land a down air first. Ah, Pichu with the one jab, but no other jabs. Truly, it's an unheard of strategy that will dominate the meta. Pichu could have gone for a down B there as well. Ooh, Ridley tried to go for an up B. Wouldn't have killed Pichu, but would have definitely put him off stage. Ooh, Pichu dodges that up smash. Still needs to find a way to kill Ridley, though. Then, of course, Pichu's problem, first of all, is that the self-damage... Ooh, gets a footstool. Ridley still makes it back, though. Pichu's problem is that the self-damage does partially negate the auto-heal, but the auto-heal isn't as useful because, as the lightest character in the game, Pichu dies the earliest. So you would think that healing damage would be more important, because you can take less damage overall. But it turns out most characters can easily just outdo the auto-heal. Ridley just grabs Pichu and kills him. Pichu's still not hitting Ridley with the kind of move that will kill him. Ooh, the down air gets beat by the up B. It's a very strong move with... It doesn't have, you know, any special extra priority, but because it's strong, it has high priority. Pichu just needs to either throw out a smash attack or go for an edge guard. Forward tilt used to be an amazing kill move. They actually had to nerf it. It was that good. And then once they did, people started playing Pikachu instead of Pichu, because the characters are similar. Ah, now, Pichu's up B does not have a hitbox, so it did not take Ridley out of special fall. Pichu seems to be doing well, but still has a stock to make up. Now at 60%, 2 more hits, and Pichu is probably in kill range. Ooh, that Super Scrape. Sure, it has another name, but oh wow. Yeah, Pichu just dies. Ridley's forward smash is very powerful because it's so slow. And also because it's an explosion. And for the last match of this video, we're going to have Kirby against Palutena. Kirby Classic, specifically. For those keeping track. I'm sure there's some people who keep forgetting, but... One of Kirby's strengths is he has strong edge guarding, but Palutena has a teleport recovery, which makes her harder to edge guard. One of the things you have to learn of how to edge guard her is that she has a longer 2-frame than most characters. So Kirby could take advantage of that. Oh! He actually gets an edge guard on Palutena right there. With his jumps, he makes it back. Well, to finish my now irrelevant thought, if Kirby were to attack the ledge, he'd have a much easier time of well, effectively gimping Palutena. But it doesn't look like Kirby needs the extra help now. Kirby is actually stronger on the ground than in the air, which actually follows with the Kirby games, if you've ever played them. In some of them, like Kirby 64, they do actually limit how many jumps you can make. I'm pretty sure they also do that for Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I haven't got to play 8, though, because I've been, you know, running this tournament. But in most of the traditional Kirby games, you can fly forever, but it's really slow, and you have fewer defenses. So, like, you can't use as many of your attacks, and the ones you can use, you'd have to stop puffing yourself up first. So it kind of, like, informally informs the player that, hey, just so you know, you should just walk through this game. But if you ever need to fly, you can. You're just weaker for it. So, Kirby just took off stock of Palutena, and she's only answered back with, well, now it's 17.7 health. Palutena is one of the relatively newer amiibo to train, whereas Kirby's actually the first one. Well, you know, that I trained. So it is, you know, good for my ego to see that he's keeping up. He just fell into that up smash, though. But he is just nailing all these combos against Palutena. If that spike was off stage, it probably could have killed Kirby. He didn't follow up with the rapid jabs there. Or anything else, but normally you would to get the most damage. When an opponent's at the ledge, they get pushed back less. There's actually a mechanic in the game where if you hit the opponent enough times in a row, it slowly starts pushing you away. It usually only ever comes up for rapid jabs. Especially since they took the fan item out of the games. Before rapid jabs, it does push you away from each other, allowing the punch player to escape. But if you're up against a wall, then even though the characters are being pushed away, they're being pushed away less than they normally would. Wow, Kirby just mollywogs Palutena.